Anthem is the recently released loot shooter created from BioWare, which is the same company that created Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Although I would say you probably wouldn't guess that from the start if you've looked at this gameplay. I've been pretty excited about this game once they started being more open with the development process, and showed that they were willing to listen to fan feedback. Both practices that I hope to support in the gaming industry. So naturally, I have picked up Anthem, and I wanted to take the time to respond to all the negativity that has come out towards this game recently. I want to let all of you know if the claims are valid, or if you should ignore them. I will also comment if this game is worth picking up right now, if you should wait for things to stabilize, or if you should ignore it entirely. Before we get into this, a little bit of a disclaimer. This is obviously going to be my opinion, and naturally it is okay for you to disagree with me. I am also okay with you expressing that in the comment section down below, as long as you are civil and open to having a conversation. My goal is not to offend. Ultimately, my goal is to help you find if this game is made for you, or to see if you need to save some money and skip it. So beyond all that, let's get into it. Before the full release of Anthem, I played both demos they released. Yes, that also includes the awful VIP dumpster fire. But I have to say, even through all the 95% infinite load screens, I still really enjoyed Anthem's gameplay. Specifically, I would say that I loved the flying. Even though the PC controls for flight sensitivity were far from ideal, I love the freedom that this single aspect gave to the players. Being able to dip and dive and hover all over the battlefield, it felt like it was much more fun and engaging to, well, engage enemies. This is super crucial for a game like this, where the majority of your time spent on it is going to be grinding out the same missions over and over again, battling the same enemy types, to hopefully get the loot that you're looking for. So I think it's super crucial to be able to have gameplay that's interactive and fun, or else it'll quickly become stale. I should add in here that the developers of Anthem, since the demos have drastically improved all of the flight system and feel to the flight system on PC. I highly recommend as soon as you pick up this game, if you're on PC, to play around with the flight settings and see what works for you the most. They really did sink some time into making this feel a little bit better. I'm super happy they listened to fan feedback and decided to improve on this. But another super important aspect of this type of game would be gunplay. I would say that Anthem's is passable, to be honest. It's not amazing, but it gets the job done. But I do have to bring up that there are some guns that just feel awful to use in my experience. So far, I have not enjoyed using a single shotgun at this point. When I fire it, it feels incredibly underwhelming. The spread isn't too great, the sound isn't very satisfying, the whole feel of the weapon type just feels off in this game. And I'd say there's a couple weapon styles that are just like that for me. It could just be my experience, but personally I'm just hoping to spend some more time on this. These loot shoot type of games typically thrive off of having a wealth of customization options. I really have to give credit to BioWare's excellent choice to add in a huge in-depth customization system. I already love customizing my Javelin in the Forge. The fact that you can even change the material each component of your suit is made out of is amazing. Not to mention that you're given access to every single color in a color wheel. I think they did a really good job putting a lot of extra time and effort into this. It's especially cool that you don't have to unlock a lot of these things. All of the colors are readily available to you. The only things that you could purchase are additional materials, but you already have a pretty wide selection from the start. Enough to make your Javelin look cool even without them. This element of the game is essential for longtime players. I feel like this is why this game's competition in being Warframe has been successful for so long, where that game gives its players plenty of customization options. So in my opinion, good on BioWare for this. Now getting onto the things beyond the gameplay, mainly just being the story. I'm not super far into it right now, but I can tell you it's not what's keeping me here. It's not hooking me very well. The visuals of the world are, they look amazing, but the world building around all of that isn't particularly original. Obviously, my opinion on all of that is subject to change once I actually finish this game. And if it's significantly altered by the end, I'll make a video on that. But as of right now, I wouldn't count on Anthem thriving in the story department. It's yet another story about ancient alien technology that several factions and races want for themselves. Once again, not super original. So now that I've brought all of these things to the table, let's talk about what exactly I'm thinking towards this game. Well, Anthem is still a bit of a buggy mess at this point. If you played or watched any of the demos before, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. Things like enemies despawning, some matchmaking issues, and my brother even encountered a bug so far where he couldn't leave the menu when he was trying to turn off his voice chat without having to exit out of the game entirely. I would say there's a lot of work to be done still to make this game feel polished and completed, but I can say that I'm enjoying it overall so far. It's far from perfect, but I'm not too worried about that right now. I would say that if you enjoy these types of games, you've probably already made up your mind if you're going to get this game or not. But if not, I would recommend waiting on this game for a little while. Currently, it's pretty obvious that Anthem's late game is lacking. Players that have gotten there so far have expressed that there's not really a whole lot for them to do now. I have faith that BioWare is not giving up on this game and they will keep on adding content like they've promised. But at the moment, I can't say I recommend this game unless you're fine with all the things that I brought up. I think you'll find yourself more frustrated than anything if you pick it up now and you can't ignore those things. Now, with that said, I don't think Anthem deserves all of the negativity it's receiving right now from content creators and news sources. But I do think that some of the complaints are valid. I just feel that BioWare has earned our trust with the way that they're showing us that they're listening to us. But if you still want to stay on the safe side, which I do recommend, just wait about a month or so. Keep up on the news and look into when you think is a good time to pick this game up. But if you have picked up Anthem as well, go ahead and tell me what your first impressions are. I'd like to see where all of you are at. And if you'd like to, you can also leave your in-game name down below, and I think it'd be fun to play together at some point. As always, I'd really appreciate it if you would go down below and like this video, if you actually did enjoy it. And also, consider subscribing to me. It would mean a lot. But other than that, that's all I have to say for this video. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and thank you so much for watching.